induction ceremony on Friday the 7th of November 2025 from 8:30 a.m. A proud moment for our graduates, parents, staff, and the entire Machakos University community. Be part of our celebration as we commemorate 10 years of nurturing innovators, leaders, and change makers, shaping a sustainable future. The theme of our graduation is celebrating a decade of excellence. Machakos University, co-creating sustainable futures.
Who is calling my name? Oh, Jesus is calling my name. Oh, so I am not a money.
The only time you should be dating objectively is when you are thinking of getting married. So young people need to look beyond mtu yako na job gani, anaendesha moti yake ni gani, huyo msee ako na ganzi ngapi, huyo msee udungaje,
tajuaje ni yeye. Sasa najua nasemanga it was easy for Adam ilitoa demo
hakuwa mademo
hakuwa na option.
Just because they are in church does not mean they are in Christ.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzio wako wa dhati michezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
Kafu ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ugaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo.
Haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Nawahimiza Wakenya waendelee watch Dunda Dunda show.
KBC, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Well, the common market for Eastern and Southern Africa is the largest trading as well as a diplomatic bloc in the African continent. And the numbers confirm this. You're talking about a trading bloc with about almost 700 million people and a combined GDP of 1.1 trillion US dollars. In fact, if Comesa was a country, it would be the 15th largest economy in the world. And it would be the third largest economy in terms of population after India, China, and Comesa. And so you're talking a significant and a major trading bloc within the African continent. But there is a problem here. When you look at intra-regional trade within Comesa, it's a meager 14%. And so the question is, how do you move this to about 30, 40, 50, and even 70%? And that is one of the conversations that took place here in Nairobi during the just concluded head of summit meeting that was held at Kenyatta International Convention Center. Well, this is Inside Government, and of course we are live from Broadcasting House. My name is O'Brien Kimani. This is the kind of content that we are going to be discussing tonight with none other than the National Coordinator for Comesa. This is Tobias Odongo. You can call him the Comesa focal point for Kenya. He's joining us tonight. Thank you very much indeed, Tobias, for finding time to be with us here. I know it's been a hectic month for you and for your team, and so we appreciate your time for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much, O'Brien. It has been a hectic time for us as a country, but we've managed it.
Yes.
Yes.
How did you manage to pull it through?
Yeah, it was, in fact, we started the coordination and organization for the summit a little bit early enough.
How earlier?
We started it in May.
May.
Yeah.
This year?
This year. That's when we composed.
So you're talking about 5 months ago?
5 months ago. We composed a national organizing committee from the ministries, departments, and agencies. And we started working towards the success of this summit from that point. And that's what made us succeed in organizing and coordinating a successful summit. Yeah.
How many people were you planning for?
We were planning for around 3,000 people.
3,000 people.
Yeah, but the number that we were registered was close to 7,000 people. Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
double the number?
Double the number.
Wow.
At some point, we had even to stop the registrations and accreditation because we were seeing that the numbers were coming up was too much for us.
How many nationalities?
The nationalities that participated, the 21, you know, Comesa is a member state. The member states are 21. So that means the 21 nations participated in the Comesa Summit we had, the 4th Comesa Summit we had, yes.
And one would expect that Kenya, being the host,
Yes.
Had the majority of participants. Is that right?
True. Kenya, being the host, had a majority of those participants. Yeah, because that included those who are at the exhibition and those who are service providers, and even the committee, those who are working at KCC. We considered all those who also registered, and they became part of the participants for the 24th Comesa Summit.
Very well.
Yes.
You're talking about a bloc with about 21 member states.
It's true.
And so you'd expect, 21 presidents and heads of government to attend. How many came?
The number that came, combined with our head of state, were around 5. 5 heads of state were here.
5?
Yes, 5 of them.
5 heads of state?
Yeah, they came. Those were the heads of states. The others were represented by the prime ministers and the ministers who were also there. There was also the vice president.
So there were 16 heads of state who did not turn up?
Yeah, they didn't turn up.
That's a significant majority.
It's true.
Why?
It's normal. That's normal. Most of the summits, heads of state are busy people, and they normally sometimes don't get time to participate. And I think that is what affected.
Did you send out the letters?
We did
to all
the invitations. All the heads of state were invited by our head of state, by the Comesa Secretariat, and also the outgoing head of state, that was President of Burundi, did the invitations. Yeah.
And still, despite all that, the majority head of states, they
some
decided to keep off.
Apologies. Some were trying to confirm that they're coming, and last minute there were cancellations, and that happened.
This is the 3rd time that Kenya is hosting this kind of a meeting.
True.
When you compare the last 2,
Yes.
What conclusions do you make?
I think this was better because I look at the publicity that it was given. Yeah, and the coordination and organization of the summit. This, I think, was better.
The first one was in 1999.
1999, that was the 3rd summit. Then we had the
How many presidents came in 1999?
I didn't participate directly on the 2 of those 2, but I'm not sure whether the presidents was that much. There were not many comparatively. And going by this trend, even the one in Burundi, the presidents were not.
The 23rd session.
The 23rd, they majorly sometimes they are 7, 8, 5, like that. So they are not normally participating, but they are actively represented during the summit. Yes.
Is it a sign that they are not very serious with Comesa or what?
No, Comesa is a very
because
strong.
when you look at the attendance at the African Union summit, I mean, you see a significant representation in terms of presidents and heads of state and government.
Yes.
At least you'd expect maybe for Comesa, 50% of them showing up would be considered to be a good number. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true, but I may not be able to talk on their behalf. These are heads of states, and therefore I only consider that the number that came was representative, and the others were also represented by their foreign affairs ministers, state ministers. So that is an indication that they are serious with it. But looking at the regional economic communities around, we have EAC, we have Comesa, we have ECOWAS, we have also SADC, we also have AFCFTA. I think Comesa is very strong and has come up with a number of benefits to the member states. And therefore, any member states, and even looking at the meetings where we participate, they participate very strongly, and they're serious with their Comesa. Yes.
One thing, because I participated, I was there, I saw it, and I stand at it's a good position to say that it was a very well organized event. Who was footing the bill for this event? I mean, I kept on getting that question. Was it Kenya? Was it Comesa Secretariat?
Yeah. Okay, normally the Comesa Summit are coordinated by the host country and also the Comesa Secretariat. The cost is co-shared, basically. It's co-shared between the Comesa Secretariat and also the host country. So as Kenya, we also participated and coordinated and to meet some of the costs, and the Comesa Secretariat also did meet some of the cost. Yes.
When you look at all the 3 Comesa summits that have been held in Kenya, they have always been held at KICC, Kenyatta International Convention Center. Do you feel it is high time that we change to an alternative venue to give people, different perspective, to get the people out of the KICC box and get them elsewhere?
Yeah. I think you're right, but you see, KICC is a landmark. And being a landmark, even before we even had to propose the venue, the Comesa Secretariat knew that the venue is KICC.
Is it because we don't have an alternative?
I think because we don't have a better alternative, but looking at KICC, you find it's centrally placed, and it's a catchment area, being in town, so many people can then be able to access KICC. And that, I think, is what driving every event of that magnitude is basically hosted at KICC. Yes.
And I like what you're saying. It's because there is no better alternative.
I think so.
But I'm sure if we had 5 KICCs, one in Eldoret, another in Mombasa, I'm sure you'd be having these meetings in all these places. And that is a concern or a wake-up call to us as a country.
True.
That we need to diversify our MICE venues.
True.
So that we can showcase different sites, different views of Kenya, apart from just creating one view of KICC. And thank God, the government is now remodeling the National Bombers of Kenya, where a major convention center is coming up, and let's hope that the next time Kenya is hosting this kind of a meeting, that convention center will be done, because next year, the meeting will be in Harare, Zimbabwe, and then thereafter it will go to the Kingdom of Eswatini.
From there, there is no program for that, because
so it will be decided.
It will be decided
in Eswatini.
In Eswatini.
Yeah. When are we likely to host another meeting, another Comesa Head of State Summit?
Kenya.
Is it in this decade?
No, you can't be sure, because this one took us like 18 years to come back here.
18 years?
Yes, from 2007 to date. So that tells you
it's quite a long time.
It takes time. It takes time.
The other one was 1999, then the other one was in 2007.
Yes. Then this one 2024.
Then 2024.
Yeah, so you see, it is not something that you can predict.
Let's hope we have another one in the year 2030.
Yeah, 2030.
So that we can have a lot to showcase.
Yeah, we can, but it depends. Yeah, there are these 21 member states. They're also interested in hosting the summit. So therefore.
Very well. Let's now get deep into the issues that were discussed at that summit.
Yes.
And one of them was the intra-regional trade.
True.
I talked about 14%.
Yes.
Which is would be classified as one of the lowest in the world. The highest being the European Union, whereby, you know, the intra-EU trade, you're talking about northward of 70%.
70%, yes.
Why are we still not trading among each other?
There are a lot of arguments which have been put in place. That's why we are not trading among ourselves. But basically, we've not integrated so much. And we have non-tariff, we are having non-tariff barriers, which we are imposing on trade. And this is what is affecting intra-African trade. And because some people reason that we almost produce the same product, and that is why there's no much of intra-Comesa trade. But I don't buy that argument, because I believe if we can be able to value add on our products, we can be able to trade, because we will not be selling the same products to the region. But basically what normally happens is that we find that some countries impose some of the non-tariff barriers that hinders the intra-Comesa or inter-regional trade. And that is what affects Africa, basically.
But there is something that you're saying, which, and that argument has always been posted around, that when you look at, you know, member states within the Comesa bloc,
Yes.
they are majorly agricultural-based economies. They're producing coffee, they're producing maize, they're producing flowers, they're producing beans and all that.
Beans, tea, coffee.
And so there is very small industrialization and manufacturing base. Actually, when you were to look at Comesa, you know, some of the biggest manufacturers within Comesa are Kenya. You're also talking about countries like Egypt, to some small extent Zimbabwe. And so the argument has always been, if Comesa countries were to industrialize and expand their industrial base, and then deal with issues of NTBs, then you would expect these intra-regional trade to go up by almost 50%.
It's true.
So what is holding back industrialization within Comesa?
Yeah, you see what happened when we opened our markets. We then started to be importing economies. We started importing mostly from Asia. And that has thwarted our industrialization. So you find people are not concentrating on industrial growth, but mostly they are concentrating on importing products and bringing to the region. So that is why the industrialization part is still down and still going down. Because, you know, let's take textile, for example. Because looking at the region currently, particularly on textile, you find almost the clothes people wear in the region are all imported. From the Asia and all that. So that has really affected us when we opened our markets and started to import most of the products which we use as a region. So that has affected our industrialization. But Comesa is, and the region is thinking around that. They're trying to improve and come up with industrial policies which can then be able to improve the industrialization of the region. And also we also been accused of exporting raw products. Have we been accused, or that's what happens? I mean, when you look at 90%. Basically, that is what happens. But Comesa, we're trying to promote the value addition. Because if you value add, then you kind of progressing towards industrialization.
But how do you value add without a strong industrial base? You know, like coffee. How do you value add coffee if you don't have proper systems to roast, to grind, to package, and to export?
But I don't think these days there are some of the value added coffee from the region, even from Kenya. We don't just sell the beans coffee beans, but we sell the products from the coffee.
The cherries.
The cherries, yeah. So that tells you we are starting to do some value addition on our produce.
But even when you look at Kenya, for example, I mean, the amount of coffee that we sell to the world in complete form is less than 20%.
It's true.
Look at tea, for example.
Yeah.
You know,
tea.
the same thing goes for tea. And so from where you see it or from where you stand, I mean, what then do we need to do to accelerate value addition? And for value addition to happen, what do we need to do as an enabler?
True. Looking at the theme of the summit, the 24th COMESA summit, it's talking of leveraging digitalization to deepen value addition for sustainable and inclusive growth. That is a very strong theme. And this theme here...
And quite mouthful.
Yeah, it's quite mouthful.
Yeah.
So the value addition part is what, as Kenya, when we are coming up with this theme, we're looking at it that if we deepen digitalization, if we leverage on digitalization, then we may be able to deepen...
And this is digitization, not digitalization.
Digitalization, yes. To deepen our regional value chain for sustainable and inclusive growth. So, value addition is key. And by doing value addition, we are getting towards industrialization. But if you use digitalization, passing the information digitally to our people, that we need to do value addition. We don't need to sell our commodities in a raw form because it is not fetching good price and it's not being competitive, and we are not making profit out of it. This may make people to understand that value addition is a key component of our growth as a region, and if we do it, we'll then be able to progress as a region. So value addition is what is key for our growth. Because we've noticed that we sell our products in a raw form, and this is not...
And most of it is agricultural-based
products. But it's not... Even our farmers are not benefiting that much. Because, you see, if somebody imports our tea or coffee to Europe and they do the value addition, they fetch more profit than us. But the person who toils to come up with this...
the donkey work.
He's a Kenyan. He's a farmer who is a Kenyan. And they don't benefit much. So that tells you that value addition is key. Yeah, value addition is key.
And you see, thank you for bringing that context of coffee.
Yes.
And let's take coffee for example.
Yes.
You know, a kilo of AAA coffee, on the international market.
International market.
Will fetch almost $1,000.
Yes.
But by the time the farmer is getting the returns, the highest they will ever get was about 80 shillings.
80 shillings, yes. True.
For kilo.
For a kilo.
And so there is no incentive for farmers to grow more coffee. And there is no incentives for farmers to add more value.
It's true.
Or to do value addition.
True.
And so how do you incentivize value addition?
That is what we need to... We need to do a lot of sensitization to our farmers, make them understand that, there was a time they were even cutting coffees, they were uprooting coffees.
Oh, they still do. And especially in my county of Kiambu, people are still uprooting coffee to plant houses.
If you look at coffee internationally, those who are doing the value addition, those who are getting our coffees here and the coffees from the whole world and doing some blending and then packaging it and selling them, they make a lot of profit compared to the farmer. So what as a country we need to do is only to sensitize our farmers, advise them.
Is it the farmers to do the value addition, or who should do value addition?
It's not the farmer. I'm not talking about the farmer. I'm talking about the farmers to make them continue, because if they stop now, even the issue of value addition will not come up. Then the investors, then now we need to actually be able to attract investors to come and invest in the value addition, particularly of these products. Instead of selling them coffee, beans for them to blend and do value additions and sell, they need to do it here, locally. If they do it here locally, then even the Kenyans investors will also come in and start doing the value addition at that level. Are you seeing? So that is what I'm talking about, that our farmers need to continue producing the coffee. Then we need also to attract investors to come and invest on the value addition. And when they do that, people will learn from one another and people still network, and then we'll be able to continue and do the value addition as a country or as a region.
You know, when speakers were talking and giving their speeches during the meeting,
yes,
they were talking about developing industrial nodes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Kenya was talking about a good example that we gave was the county aggregation industrial parks, or what we are calling the KIPES,
KIPES,
which is a brilliant idea, if you ask me.
True.
Which seeks to bring industrialization at the county level, where, for example, when you take Kiambu farmers, they don't need to take their coffee to Nairobi for value addition.
True.
It can be done within Kiambu counties.
Yes.
But we are yet to see the first KIPE being rolled off the mill so that it can embark on this industrialization journey.
KIPES are good ideas.
And by the way, they are domiciled within your ministry, right?
They are domiciled within our ministry, those State Department for Industry. But it was one of the flagship projects that came up during this government, by this government.
This administration.
This administration did that. And the implementation, maybe the concept is not, has not been embraced well within the region, within the counties, and maybe the people do not understand. But if we work under KIPES and we aggregate our produce under KIPES, that is also one way that can bring in the value addition and industrialization.
Help me understand this.
Yes.
See, when you look at you know, the COMESA member states,
Yes.
The highest, or the country with the highest manufacturing base is Egypt.
Egypt, yes.
And you're talking about 25%?
25%
of GDP?
Egypt, yes.
The second is it Ethiopia or Kenya?
It's Kenya.
It's Kenya.
Kenya and Zambia.
With less than 9%.
9%, yes.
And so this is still very small, because even our GDP is
Yes.
still very small.
Yes.
You look at Kenya, you know, with a GDP of about 150 billion
yes.
US dollars. So that is still very small.
Yes.
And so if Kenya is big, you know, from the eyes of COMESA,
Yes.
but very small, you know, in the global scheme of things,
Yes.
then how then do we lift others? How do we lift Malawi, for example? How do we lift Eswatini? How do we lift Lesotho? How do we lift other countries, you know, so that we can come up to where we are?
I think that is why we have these regional economic communities. Because if you're working together, we are coming up with the projects together as a region and being coordinated by a regional economic community like COMESA, then that can be able to bring up these other countries which are still lower, so that they can also understand what the region requires. Because like during the summit, we came up with, there were policies, there were declarations, there were policies that came up. If we start to implement them, then these other countries would also be the beneficiaries. And that is why the importance of regional economic communities, bringing the countries together so that these countries can then start working together, networking and learning from each other, so that to make them understand. Being coordinated by a unified factor, which is COMESA now. Yes.
Tobias, help us understand things. I mean, when you look at COMESA,
Yes.
It is celebrating its 30th birthday
Yes.
this year. Is it still a good idea to have COMESA?
Very good. Very good idea to have COMESA.
Why?
Because what Comesa is doing today is trying to promote a regional cooperation and trying to promote trade within the region. Without Comesa, we still could be having so many of these non-tariff barriers, and we will not then be able to trade. But now, when we get into, Comesa started as a preferential trade area.
Yeah.
Then by 1994, it came to be, it was named Comesa. Then by the year 2000, Comesa then became a free trade area. So they were to eliminate tariffs.
Yeah.
Yes. So when that happens, that is what has enabled even the intra-Comesa trade.
To grow to that level.
To grow to that level.
Very good.
Imagine if it was not there. It would be worse.
It would be
That
worse.
is why we still need Comesa, and we need more. If you look at the AU agenda of 2063, and that is what one of the flagship projects is the AFCFTA. And this AFCFTA now would want to bring the whole Africa
Very good.
together to trade.
Very well.
So that is why Comesa is still relevant, and regional economic communities are very relevant, and they are going to be helpful
Moving forward. Well, if you're just joining us, we're talking matters common market for Eastern and Southern Africa. Comesa, the 24th Head of Summits was held here in Kenya just the other day. There were serious conversations on how to enhance trade and improve intra-regional trade. We are fortunate enough this evening to have Comesa focal point for Kenya. This is Tobias Odongo, and we are looking at how to improve trade within Comesa. You're watching Inside Government. We're taking a break. We are back with more. Stay right here.
Jesus is calling my name.
The only time you should be dating objectively is when you are thinking of getting married. So young people need to look beyond mtu yako na job gani, anaendesha moti yake ni gani.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
We are discussing matters Comesa with Comesa Focal Point Kenya, national leader. This is Tobias Odongo, and we're looking at ways of enhancing integration, of moving trade within the Comesa region, of ensuring that people move seamlessly from point A or from one country to the other. Remember, Comesa has about 21 countries, and it is aspiring to grow to encompass all the 54 countries in Africa. And so this means breaking the boundary barriers. So Tobias, when you look at the almost 700 million members of Comesa, which is the population of Comesa, are members aware that they are members of Comesa?
Not quite. Not all of them are aware.
So how are they going to trade if they don't know that they're in Comesa?
Yeah, those are some of the challenges we still there. We need to at least enlighten and capacity build people to understand that they are in a trading bloc, which is called Comesa, and where they can also be able to trade. Most people who are maybe aware are those who are involved in trading under COMESA. These are the people who are maybe aware.
And they constitute a very small minority.
They constitute a small minority, that is true. But majority may not be aware. So as members of COMESA, as governments of COMESA, that is something that needs to be worked on so that people are...
And who should do that work?
This one should be done by the governments, in the member state governments, and also the COMESA Secretariat. They have a component of sensitization. Yes.
Are they doing that?
Yeah, they're doing that.
Are they doing it the right way?
I may not say the right way or not the right way, but I know they are doing
because
it.
Because you could be doing something, but doing it the wrong way.
I've seen them here in Kenya, interacting with the business community and also doing a bit of sensitization. The last time I engaged them in Baringo, trying to enlighten people on particularly the youth, and they've been providing some facilities that can support trading through COMESA. So
you know, as a member of the COMESA markets,
yes.
I mean, you still face serious trade barriers. You know, when, for example, if a Kenyan wants to export to a fellow COMESA member, let's, for example, say Egypt.
Yes.
You need a visa, don't you?
Egypt, I think you still need the visas.
Yeah, you still need a visa,
yes,
to go to Egypt.
Yeah.
And for you to get to Egypt, you must go by flight. Is that right?
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Is there any way you can drive from Kenya to Egypt without facing significant challenges?
No. You understood during the last summit there were issues on peace and security. There are also challenges of peace and security. There is challenge of infrastructure. The roads, you may not be able to use a road up to Egypt.
So then why would I think about selling to COMESA countries when when the odds are against me?
Yeah, so these are some of the challenges that need to be addressed by these regional economic communities. Particularly the issues on infrastructure needs to be developed to cross Africa so that people can be able to move and trade. Yes.
When you look at COMESA itself, I mean, the road network is almost non-existent because some countries are still in the process of constructing, their national trunk roads. And so trading within COMESA is very, very hard for any serious business person. What are member states doing to enhance these and, of course, make it seamless that a member state in, a trader in, let's say, Eswatini can sell their goods to Kenya without facing significant barriers. And Kenyans can also sell their produce in Eswatini, in Malawi, in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, as a region, we still face a number of challenges. Particularly the road network is not possible. If you want to trade with Egypt, you have to use maybe the sea transport is there,
and it is expensive.
Very expensive, but then still can be used. But road network is still a challenge.
And also some countries within COMESA are landlocked.
Yeah, they're landlocked and they need to export, and they export using the sea. But and even they fly their commodities for exports. But what is key and important is that as we come together as a region and a number of countries coming together, we are able then to be able to face some of these challenges. Yeah, particularly issues on infrastructure. What I know is happening with COMESA is that they are trying to harmonize their transport policies. They're trying to do these regional projects as collectively as a region, and they maybe combine the resources to face some of these challenges. And that is what would open Africa. Because maybe a number of countries may not be able to get the resources to do some of those big projects on their own. But if now people come together and with some support, we then can be able to undertake some of these big infrastructure projects. So that is why coming up to as a region, as a COMESA, and facing out some of these challenges, we then be able to address them. And that's the reason COMESA and the other regional economic communities are there. Yes.
You see, when you look at COMESA, you still have member states belonging to other regional blocs. Like, for example, you here in East Africa, you have the East African Community.
Yes.
Where you have Kenya, you have Somalia, you have Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, all these countries. Then you go to Southern Africa. You still have countries like Zimbabwe, Swatini, Lesotho, Malawi, Zambia, all members of SADC.
Yes.
And when you look at their membership in SADC, it's very, very strong. And so you have a situation whereby members are more inclined towards their regional trading blocks, as opposed to committing more resources to blocks like COMESA. And so how do you deal with this? How do you ensure, yes, that Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, yes, you're members of East African Community, and yes, commit more resources, become more committed in EAC, but at the same time, don't neglect your roles and responsibilities within COMESA.
Yeah, it's still it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's being addressed through AU. I also talked about AU Agenda 2063.
2063.
Yes, those were the issues which were being discussed. The spaghetti, where now you find that countries are in most of these regional economic communities, which were then not adding value, and that's the reason for the AFCFTA to address some of these challenges. The multiple membership of the countries in these regional economic blocks. That has also a hindrance to the regional integration. And for our leadership, the leadership of the Africa, then decided to come up with the AFCFTA. So, and they wanted to use these regional blocks like EAC and also EAC, COMESA, SADC, and they build on them to build, because this was, they now have structures. So if they use their structures, they need to make them easily to use them as a building blocks towards achieving the objectives of AFCFTA. So this is what is happening, because it was realized that that was a big challenge for the region. Yeah, and to address it, that is what the AU came up with, that if we come up with a one unifying regional economic community for Africa, this will solve this problem of multiple memberships of these countries in those years.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're in the company of Tobias Odongo. He's the COMESA focal point for Kenya and also the national coordinator for Matters COMESA. He's also a senior official at the Ministry of Trade. And our conversation tonight is on how to drive intra-regional trade within COMESA and, of course, deal with non-trade barriers. How do you trade seamlessly with other countries within the COMESA bloc? Let's now talk about, the just concluded 24th summit, head of state summit. It came up with a communique which was read to member countries, and some delegates were saying that this is becoming like an annual rite, where people will hold meetings and then communiques are going to be read, but when you look back at what you achieved during the last summit, you don't see any progress. And so, how do we make the Nairobi summit to tick?
Yeah, O'Brien, that is a very good question. And as Kenya, when we were appointed or we selected or agreed to host the COMESA summit, I think we had an objective. And looking even at our theme, you realize that the theme is futuristic, and the theme looks to be heading to address some of these challenges which are facing Comesa. So it would not be a talk show. The summit would not be a talk show. The declarations and the communiques which were there, as you understand our leadership, the current leadership we have in the country, they'll then be able to address some of these challenges. Because looking at our DIM, I told you, is leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chain for sustainable and inclusive growth. So, as you understand, Kenya, we are strong on the issues of digitalization, or the issues on digital. We are very strong within the region comparatively. Looking at our innovations, if you look at the M-Pesa, and these are the tools which can be able to facilitate trade. So we chose that theme to enable us to influence the region towards digitalization, that which can be able to address some of these challenges, like even the non-tariff barriers. Because, you know, when you are trading digitally, you may not be able to meet a lot of challenges as if you are trading physically, you are traveling with your commodity and like that. Then if you just order, then it would be brought to you, maybe you're not there, then the payments are done digitally. That makes trading become better. And also you can be able to navigate some of these challenges and the issues of non-tariff barrier and all that. So that is where Kenya is. So as Kenya, the communiques and the declarations which were made, we as Kenya, and looking at our head of state, know how our head of state is proactive. I know it would work towards implementing most of those declarations which were made. Yes.
Like, for example, look at the issue of electricity. And, you know, the communique was very clear that we need to create strong interconnection infrastructure within the Comesa region, because you have some countries that are still struggling with legacy infrastructure in terms of having very old and highly inefficient energy infrastructure. And you have countries who are having very sophisticated energy infrastructure. You know, countries like Ethiopia that opened the largest hydropower station in Africa. And so this requires massive resources. And countries do not have these resources. So how are they going to do this?
Looking at the declaration from the summit and the communique, you realize our president was very proactive when he came up and advised the member states that we need our own resources. We need to rely on the external resources, the external support, the development partners. They're not actually helping us. Then he also had urged member states to increase their shares on the Trade Development Bank. You know, Trade Development Bank is owned by Comesa. And now they wanted Trade Development Bank that we increase our shares, we consolidate our shares, that we have enough resources. That which member states can then be able to use to fast track some of these infrastructure developments.
Very good. Well, I mean, as I told you earlier on, we are with, in studio, we are in the company of Tobias Odongo. He's the Comesa focal point for Kenya. And of course, he's sharing with us, you know, some of the initiatives that are being put in place to ensure that we create a strong Comesa, not just for Kenya, but for Africa as a continent. And I've been telling you this, when you look at Comesa, you're talking about a behemoth of a trading bloc, you know, 21 member states, almost 700 population. And you're talking about a GDP of 1.1 trillion US dollars, which is massive by all standards. And so, Tobias, because we have about four minutes before we wind up. Yes, we have 4 minutes. I mean, we've been here for the last 47 minutes. So help us understand this. Where do we go from here, and how do we make Comesa to be strong, and how do we position Kenya as a key driver of inclusion
O'Brien,
and integration in Comesa?
O'Brien, you understand that as the host, when we hosted the Comesa Summit, then we became the chair of the Comesa. So when we become the chair, it's us to drive the policies of Comesa going forward for the 1 year we are going to have. So when we're going to drive policies, it's upon Kenya now to come up with the policies that which can make Comesa to be strong. One such policies is to actually be able to promote trade by increasing the intra-Comesa trade. Kenya, as I told you, we are strong on the digitalization. That is within the region. I'm not sure of the data, but we are very considered to be strong. Then we chose that to use the digitalization to be able to capacity build the other member states so that our region and our member states can also be able to adopt digitalization to fast track the regional integration of Comesa. So that is our strong point as a region. So if we be able to implement some of these recommendations which came out of the 24th Comesa Summit, we'll be able to be strong, and we leave Comesa, we leave the chairmanship of Comesa when Comesa is not where we found it as a region. Yes.
Very well.
Yeah.
Good. Tobias.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, time is over for us when we were just starting. I know you are just here in town. We'll always engage with you so that we can discuss these issues of driving Comesa forward.
Yes.
Your time is highly appreciated.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Comesa Focal Point National Coordinator for Kenya, Tobias Odongo, joining us tonight, to share with us some of the wisdoms on how to drive Comesa forward. And of course, you have heard it from him. We just hosted a highly successful meeting. And so the question is, how do we make Comesa a successful story? It has struggled in the last 30 years. How do we make it to the next 30 years? And how do we make Comesa strong? Well, it will require the efforts of all the 21 member states and, of course, attracting more member states to join Comesa. And, of course, empowering the citizenry, dealing with non-trade barriers, and, of course, enhancing trade, or what we call intra-regional trade. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. You have been watching Inside Government. Remember, this is what we do every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. where we discuss critical issues with policymakers and policy movers. Thank you very much indeed. The Prime Edition is coming up next with John Jacob Kuria and Doreen Arange. Hang around. Bye.